The story of Hazrat Ibrahim, A.S., and the daughter of Namrood is one of the most heart-touching and faith-strengthening tales in Islamic history. It reveals the power of belief in one God and the triumph of truth over arrogance and disbelief. Long ago, in the time of Prophet Ibrahim, A.S., there lived a powerful king named Namrood. He was proud, arrogant, and claimed to be a god himself. His kingdom was vast, his throne magnificent, and his power unmatched. People bowed before him out of fear, not out of love. Among his people, however, stood one man who refused to bow before anyone except Allah. That man was Hazrat Ibrahim, A.S. When Ibrahim, A.S., began calling people toward the worship of one true God, Namrood became furious. He could not accept that someone in his kingdom would challenge his so-called divinity. He summoned Ibrahim, A.S., to his court and asked him, "Who is your Lord?" Ibrahim, A.S., replied calmly, "My Lord is the one who gives life and takes it away." Namrood, in his arrogance, tried to imitate this act. He brought 2 prisoners, freed one, and ordered the other to be executed. "See," he said proudly, "I too give life and death." But Ibrahim, A.S., answered wisely, "My Lord brings the sun from the east. You bring it from the west, if you can." Namrood was silenced. His arrogance was shattered, yet his pride would not let him admit defeat. Among those who heard this conversation was Namrood's daughter. She was deeply moved by Ibrahim's words. Unlike her father, she felt the truth in what Ibrahim, A.S., said. For the first time, she realized that all the idols and power her father worshipped were meaningless compared to the one true, creator of the heavens and the earth. Days turned into nights, but the words of Ibrahim, A.S., never left her heart. She began to question her father's false claims and sought the truth secretly. She prayed quietly, asking Allah to guide her. Eventually, she met Ibrahim, and expressed her desire to believe in the one God. Ibrahim, A.S., was pleased and guided her to the path of faith, reminding her that true power belongs only to Allah. When Namrood discovered that his own daughter had embraced the faith of Ibrahim, A.S., his rage knew no bounds. He saw it as the ultimate betrayal, his own blood turning against his false throne. He tried to force her to reject the truth, but her faith was unshakable. She told her father, "You may have power in this world, but it will not last. The real kingdom belongs to Allah." Her courage astonished even those around her. She was willing to sacrifice her royal comfort, her life, and her father's favor for the sake of her belief. Namrood, blinded by pride, ordered terrible punishments for those who followed Ibrahim, A.S. He even built a great fire to burn the prophet alive. But Allah protected his prophet, and the fire became cool and safe for Ibrahim, A.S. This miracle spread throughout the kingdom, and the daughter of Namrood wept, not out of fear, but out of amazement at the mercy and power of Allah, her heart filled with certainty that the message of Ibrahim, A.S., was the truth. She continued to worship Allah in secret, away from her father's eyes. Her life became an example of silent faith, courage, and devotion. Though history does not tell us all the details of her fate, her story reminds us that guidance is in the hands of Allah alone. Even in the house of a tyrant, light can enter the heart that seeks truth. The story of Hazrat Ibrahim, A.S., and the daughter of Namrood is not just about an ancient time. It is a timeless reminder that faith is stronger than power, truth is greater than pride, and belief can bloom even in the darkest of places. It teaches us that no matter how mighty the rulers of the world may appear, they are nothing before the majesty of Allah. Let this story strengthen our hearts and remind us to hold firm to the truth, no matter how great the opposition. Because just like Ibrahim, A.S., and Namrood's daughter, true believers always find peace in the remembrance of Allah. After the miracle of the fire, the kingdom of Namrood was shaken. People whispered in fear and awe, "How could a man thrown into the fiercest flames walk out unharmed?" The courtiers who once mocked Hazrat Ibrahim, A.S., now looked at him with trembling hearts. Even those loyal to Namrood began to question their king's false claim of divinity. Namrood's daughter watched everything unfold. Her faith grew stronger with every sign she saw. She realized that Allah's power was beyond human understanding. The man her father had tried to destroy stood alive, unharmed and more honored than ever before. She would often sit by her window at night, gazing at the stars, whispering prayers of gratitude to Allah for guiding her heart toward the truth. One day, she gathered her courage and secretly sent a message to Ibrahim, A.S. She wanted to meet him once again, not as the daughter of a king, but as a humble servant of Allah. When she met Ibrahim, A.S., Sanan fi diwan hanba, her eyes were filled with tears of conviction. She said, "O Prophet of Allah, my heart has found peace in the worship of the one true God. My father is lost in arrogance, but I have seen the truth through you. What should I do now?" Ibrahim, A.S., replied with gentleness, "Be patient and steadfast. Allah loves those who hold firm to their faith. Do not fear the power of your father, for the power of your Lord is greater than all kings. Continue to worship him in secret and pray for guidance for your people." She bowed her head and promised to remain true to her belief, no matter what came her way. Meanwhile, Namrood grew restless and angry. His pride was wounded, and his kingdom seemed to be slipping from his hands. Strange events began to occur in his land. His crops failed, his people suffered from disease, and his power started to fade. Yet his arrogance did not allow him to repent. He blamed everyone but himself. One night, he had a terrifying dream. In the dream, his empire was destroyed, his crown shattered, and a mighty light from the heavens swallowed his throne. He awoke trembling, drenched in sweat, but his pride made him conceal his fear. Namrood's daughter, however, had found inner peace. Her life became an act of quiet worship. She would secretly give charity to the poor, help the needy, and pray for her father's guidance. Despite her luxurious surroundings, her heart belonged only to Allah. But as time passed, Namrood's punishment drew closer. Allah sent tiny creatures, mosquitoes, to destroy the arrogant king. One of them entered his ear and tormented him day and night. The mighty ruler who once called himself a god now cried out in pain and despair. He struck his head to find relief, but it only worsened. That was how Allah showed that even the smallest of his creations could destroy the greatest of tyrants. Namrood's daughter wept for her father. She did not rejoice in his suffering. Instead, she prayed that Allah might forgive him and guide others through his downfall. Her heart was pure and full of mercy, and Allah elevated her in rank because of her patience and compassion. After the death of Namrood, people began to follow the message of Ibrahim, A.S., more openly. The truth that was once hidden in the palace now spread across the land. The daughter of Namrood became a symbol of faith, a reminder that no matter where one is born, even in the house of a tyrant, Allah can guide any heart that sincerely seeks the truth. Her life continued in simplicity and devotion. She spent her days remembering Allah, teaching others to worship Him, and reminding them of the story of her father's downfall. Not with pride, but as a lesson in humility. She would often say, "My father built palaces of stone, but I build my palace with prayers." Her story teaches us that guidance is not bound by blood, wealth, or status. Allah chooses whom He wills. A heart that seeks truth will always find it, no matter how dark the world seems. The story of Hazrat Ibrahim, A.S., and Namrood's daughter stands as a timeless lesson that faith can blossom in the most unexpected hearts, and that Allah's mercy is greater than all human power. It reminds every believer that no matter how mighty the forces of disbelief may seem, the light of truth will always overcome the darkness of arrogance. Years passed after the fall of Namrood, but the memory of his arrogance and the miracles of Hazrat Ibrahim, A.S., live videre perfin, on among the people. His kingdom, once filled with pride and idol worship, slowly turned into a land where people whispered, the name of Allah with awe and respect. The once mighty throne of Namrood became a symbol of how power and pride can vanish in a moment, while faith and truth live forever. Namrood's daughter, now a humble servant of Allah, dedicated her life to spreading the message she had learned from Ibrahim, a.s. She no longer lived in luxury. Her royal garments were replaced with simple clothes, and the gold that once adorned her was given away to help the poor. Yet, she had something far greater than any treasure, the peace that comes with belief in the one true God. She often remembered the time when she first heard Hazrat Ibrahim, a.s. speak about Allah. His words had entered her heart like a spark, and now that spark had become a flame of faith. Every morning, she would rise before dawn, bow down in prayer, and thank Allah for guiding her to the truth.